A Saginaw man wounded in a police raid in 2021 was found guilty of firearms charges last Friday. 19-year-old Raquin Scott was also charged with assault, though the jury was deadlocked on that charge, resulting in no conviction. In August 2021, Saginaw police conducted a no-knock warrant raid on a home in Harrison Street. Police say Scott had a gun and pointed it at officers, who opened fire, wounding him. He ended up paralyzed from the waist down and had to have a leg amputated. Scott's attorney plans on appealing the decision on the firearms charges. A Bay County gymnastics coach has been reinstated after a month-long suspension. Nancy Moore, head coach at Bay Valley Academy in Bangor Township, was suspended in March by the U.S. Center for Safe Sport after allegations of physical and emotional misconduct from some of the athletes at the school. Moore's suspension was to last 2 years, barring her from coaching gymnastics anywhere in the U.S. or becoming a member or coach underneath the Olympic movement. WNEM TV5 reported those allegations included not following concussion protocol and forcing a gymnast to compete with a broken arm. Moore retained legal counsel who stated the allegations were completely false, citing what he calls hundreds of pages of documentations and messages, plus dozens of witnesses in her favor. No criminal charges were ever filed against Moore. The U.S. Center for Safe Sport hasn't commented on the allegations due to the ongoing investigation. Starting Monday, 2 street projects in Midland will undergo reconstruction and water main replacement to result in road closures until mid-September. Hamilton and Hancock Drives will be closed to through traffic from J and Clay Streets for the entirety of the construction. The city says because of the nature of the work, times may change. Updates to the project schedule will be posted to the City of Midland's official Facebook page and Twitter account. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards, or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Michigan State University researchers have been awarded more than $1 million to look into security improvements for 911 calls. The National Science Foundation has awarded the researchers $1.2 million to make sure 911 calls from cell phones can stay safe. The grant comes after MSU's computer science and engineering schools finished research showing 911 calls are susceptible to cyber attacks, which could steal service, cost customers money, and disconnect legitimate emergency calls. The funding will allow researchers to work with top cell providers to fix those safety concerns. It's time to get your flies ready as it's officially trout fishing season. DNR fisheries biologist Christian Lesage says it's also the start of walleye and northern pike season in the northern lower peninsula.
The lower peninsula inland walleye and northern pike season also opens, and that season runs from April 29th through March 15th. The upper peninsula walleye and pike season runs a little later. It starts May 15th and it goes through March 15th. And then the lower peninsula, Great Lakes, Lake St. Clair River, and Detroit River for walleye and northern pike, the season is open all year there.
While you no longer need a special license to fish for trout, you still have to have your 2023 fishing license before heading out on the water. That can be purchased for $26 at michigan.gov/DNR licenses. The state is raising awareness about the dangers of falls in the workplace during National Safety Stand Down Week. The Michigan Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or MIOSHA, is making stops across the state to talk to workers about fall hazards. 11 Michigan workers died after falling at work last year, the second leading cause of death in the state's 43 workplace deaths. WSGW News Time, 9:10. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Monday has a high of 46 degrees with mainly dry conditions this morning. Rain showers returning during the afternoon with some wintry mix as well. Most of that going to be farther up north. We'll also have some wind gusts up to around 25 miles per hour from the northwest. Into tonight, a low of 36. That northwesterly wind gusting to 35 miles per hour. More of that scattered wintry mix up north. Then on Tuesday, some mix in the morning, turning to just rain showers in the afternoon. Our northwest winds still gusting to 25 miles per hour with a high of 47. Now by Wednesday, we'll have a high of 55, only a few lingering rain showers in the thumb. And as we go through the rest of this week, high temperatures continuing to warm up, 60s by the end of the week. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
And currently in Saginaw, we have 42 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Well, indeed, good morning and welcome. Westside Decorating Center, our sponsor at 5789 State Street in Saginaw, where their newly expanded showroom features some newly expanded product lines, including countertops. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to learn about the Bay Area Veterans Center, their workshop, and some other issues coming up for them. At 11 o'clock on Focus this morning, on Focus, we will learn about the Saginaw Hospitality House and an event they have coming up. But for this hour, we're going to talk about the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. And a couple of folks with us this morning. First of all, it's head honcho, the big kahuna, and the man who wants to replace me in the worst way in the world, Matt Felan. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Art.
Also with us this morning, as is typical in politics, a progression from representative to senator and now vice president. Go figure. We say good morning to Ken Horn.
Good morning, Art.
And we do need to explain that, Ken, because you are now a vice president.
Yes, it's a good feeling. Executive vice president.
Sorry.
I'd like to remind
EVP.
Yeah, I electrified. Like as my wife pointed out, she spent a good long time reminding me that presidents outrank senators, and so I'm working my way up the chain.
Look out, Matt.
See how that works? There's always somebody gunning for you. Exactly. You always have to make sure there's a seat for you. Last one standing.
Well, let's start with this, Matt. Before we do anything, give us an overview of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, why you exist and what you do.
Yeah, the Alliance was founded in the mid-2000s, really on the simple rule that folks in Bay, Saginaw, and Midland counties had gotten a little too parochial. Everyone was focused on those imaginary dotted lines that separated us. And some business leaders at our major corporations, our chambers, economic development entities, Convention and Visitors Bureau kind of said, hey, this is crazy. We need to really work together, look at what folks do in Metro Detroit, in Grand Rapids, and other areas. They work regionally. We're one community. We have to understand that although there may be three sons, we need to work together. And that was really kind of the formation of the organization.
It's an almost what goes around comes around thing. I think I told you this story. I came here in 1974, and one of the first things I had to do was do community ascertainments, which licenses were required to do back then. And I was assigned the task of going out to Delta College and talking to Don Carline. He didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know him. He sat down. I asked one question, and 45 minutes later, he was still telling me why this area should be a megalopolis, one city, and not all these little pieces put together. Here we are today. Well, we don't have one city, but we do have a regional concept which ties them all together, don't we?
Yeah, we definitely do. And I'll tell you, as I've been doing this over the course of the last 8 years, we're making progress every day. Folks now They understand they're part of a region. They're very comfortable traveling across the counties. We've included Isabella County over the course of the last decade, which makes a lot of sense considering their investments from CMU into the region with the medical school. A lot of our high school students go there. We're making great progress, but there is so much more we can do. There's a lot of redundancy and a lot of money that could probably be utilized much better if we focus and work regionally.
And so you hire the white-haired king over here, Ken Horn. What brought that about?
Ken did it to himself. I have to be completely honest. I was at a luncheon at SVSU. The Great Lakes Bay Manufacturers had their luncheon in the fall, and they had a keynote speaker, Senator Ken Horn. And he got up and gave a very passionate speech about the decline of population in Michigan in particular, and how he had a plan to grow Michigan's population by 1 million people over the course of the next 10 to 15 years. And I literally ran him down on the sidewalk to tell him that I thought he was spot on, and he gave a great speech and it really resonated. And I don't think you realize how much it resonated, because the next day I got on the phone with some folks with my organization and said, you know what? I think that man's going to be unemployed come January 1st. And we would be foolish not to go hire him here in the Great Lakes Bay region to work on our population growth, because we have bigger problems than most. So why would we let someone with his experience, his interest in such a project, and really the formation of a plan, why would we let him do this statewide when we need him here desperately? And so we agreed we're going to go get him.
You jumped on board, Ken, because otherwise you would have had to do Veronica's to-do list for the rest of your days, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. They came to me, Matt and, some of the board members came to me last fall, just a little bit before Thanksgiving, and offered me a position here. And I turned them down back then because my scope was still the state of Michigan. The platform we needed to grow Michigan on a very grand scale was so big, and I was in conversations with the Michigan Manufacturers Association and with all of the developers and stakeholders statewide. But after careful consideration, I began to realize that this region has a lot to offer. And by scaling this, we can set an example for the state of Michigan. And taking my project 1MP, growing Michigan by 1 million people, and scaling it down, Matt and I have come up with now, and you're going to begin hearing more about it, Operation 40K. We're going to grow this region by 40,000 people. And we're giving ourselves a little bit of time to do it. I think we can do it before 2040, but 40,000 people by the year 2040, I think, is a reasonable and attainable goal. And it is just growing jobs, growing our housing market, our housing stock, and working with our educators and our community leaders, and convening them and putting all of the puzzle pieces together. And I think that this region then can take this using our contacts, all of us, and bringing people here from around the country, from around the world, international students and faculty, people from the East Coast, from the Texas Tech corridor, from Silicon Valley, with the right kind of innovative technologies.
I know I told Matt this in conversations I had with Jim Fitterling a number of years ago when the beginning of the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational Tournament came about. I asked him, Jim, why are you spending $5 million or whatever it is on this tournament? And his answer was pretty enlightening. He said, look, it gives me a worldwide platform to show off this area, because if I can get people here, I can keep them here.
Correct. And that's the Dow, the Dows of the world, and the next tiers, and our hospital groups, all of them in each of their regions, and our universities are world class. When I learned, I was appointed by Governor Engler in 2002 to the Travel Commission, and one of my sayings back then was, just turn the eyes of the world this way, we'll do the rest. And that's what Jim's saying, with this invitational and with the Memorial Cup that's going to be coming to Saginaw too, by the way.
Oh yeah, you bet. That's a biggie because that'll put international eyes on the area again. All right, hang on, guys. I got to take a break. I think you know about that, Matt. And we'll be back here. By the way, if you want to hear more of Mr. Felan, June would be the time because I'm going to be gone for a few days. He's going to be here. We'll tell you more about that and get back to the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
Liven up the look of your home this summer with the help of Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. Hi, this is Marianne, and nothing brightens up the interior look of your home more than beautiful new flooring. And right now we have all the most popular styles and colors of carpet, as well as wood and tile with beautiful patterns with a very natural look. Warden Interiors also does custom laminate and solid surface countertops, including the Cambria Quartz solid surface and Corian that everyone is talking about. Even new window fashions will give your home a breath of fresh style for summer. We have all the new Hunter Douglas window treatments that help keep the harsh sun rays and heat outside where they belong. Warden Interiors features Duet Architella shades with the best UV protection in the industry. There are so many ways our expert design team can make your home into a showplace. It is a breeze to refresh, rejuvenate, and restyle your home for summer. So come in and visit us. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. We'll help you bring it all together.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
JP Morgan Chase is taking over First Republic Bank. The sale was made immediately overnight after First Republic was closed by the FDIC. But all First Republic offices and branches will be open today. First Republic was known for serving wealthy customers who deposit more than $250,000 insured by the FDIC. JP Morgan Chase now owns that business and its stock is higher. Those clients pulled out $100 billion in deposits in March after Silicon Valley banks collapse. General Motors shares are up 2.5% after optimistic comments from analysts at Morgan Stanley. Norwegian Cruise Line shares are rallying. The cruise company's loss was smaller than forecast, and it is upbeat about this year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
Saginaw is getting ready to celebrate Cinco de Mayo once again. I'm Larry Rodarte, host of Mi Gente on Air on WSGW, and I want to invite you to join in the fun on May 6th. It all starts with the 44th annual parade down Washington Avenue at 10 a.m. Then the festival begins at noon at Jolt Credit Union Event Park with international wrestlers, the Ballet Folklorico of Detroit, 12 amazing local Mexican food trucks, and music from some of the best Tejano artists in the world, featuring Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez. We're celebrating big, and we want to invite the entire Great Lakes Bay region to join in the exciting cultural tradition. Find out more at SaginawUnionCivica.com. All that excitement and more in downtown Saginaw. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Inside the station with us, Matt Felan and Ken Horn from the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. You'll have to get used to people saying that, Ken.
Yeah, no, that'll be good.
So, Matt, let's talk about this concept of regionalization. And since the past 8 years, what kind of progress have you seen in terms of us starting to think like a region rather than, and not just a name, but actual work?
Yeah. So what's great, I will tell you, we work with a ton of partner organizations, whether they're the chambers, our economic development entities, the community foundations. I think one of the things you'll see is since regionalism really started, those groups have done an amazing job working together, coordinating together. The chambers hosts an annual summit event. Ken and I sat down with our community foundations last Friday. They work together closely on a variety of projects. You've seen a lot of our nonprofits, I think, understand, especially in the financial crisis in the late 2000s, for survival, they had to change. So you've seen a lot of things. Now it's the YWCA of the Great Lakes Bay region, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Great Lakes Bay region. You see a lot of work there, but I can tell you from some of our work as a great example, we've been able, as I think you know, through our work in STEM education, to be able to bring ISDs together, K-12 partners, community colleges, universities, our skilled trades partners. We're getting folks working together and really kind of rowing in the same direction to build the talent that we need, understanding that, okay, if we have a program that works at Bay City Western, there's a pretty good chance that's going to work at Midland Dow. And if it works there, it can probably work at Mount Pleasant. And so we've really been able to engage in that talent side, specifically through STEM, working in a regional manner. And I think what we have done is we've started to erase those dotted lines. They're a little more faint. And I think people across the region really know each other now. They're willing to work together. And being in the room together now is the norm, where 20 years ago, it was such a rarity. Today, if people aren't in the room together, it's an obvious miss, and people stop and go, wait a minute. Where's our partners from this county? Where's our partner with this organization? They really look for each other regionally, where historically they have not.
It's one thing I'd like to see, and that's a regional transportation system where you can get on a bus in Midland and come to Saginaw, not have to go to Saginaw Valley to here, and take 2 hours to get here.
It is unbelievable. If you've ever heard John Kaczynski from SVSU talk about it, he did it over a couple-day period where he was like, okay, how long would it take to get from downtown Midland to downtown Bay City? Yeah, and it was hours. And so that is definitely an opportunity. And I think there are things we've learned through that process. Art, when you talk about regional transportation, it can be as simple as you could be in Bay City and have to see a specialist that you can't see in Bay City, and they're in Saginaw. And I think a lot of us who drive take it for granted. But if you don't have transportation, getting to your follow-up doctor appointments are a real problem. And people aren't making it, and they're getting sick, and they're running back into the ER, and it creates all kinds of problems there are real issues in our community where people need better modes of transportation to get from one part of the region to the other.
All right, Ken, you want to see 40,000 people come to this region. How do you do it?
There's a plan that we're beginning to lay out, and it's a three-legged stool. You have to, number one, you have to bring innovative jobs here. You can invent something once, but you innovate every day, and so you really have to focus on the innovation. At the same time, between 2005 and 2015, that Michigan lost to about 250,000 people. We lost, I think, 320 some manufacturing jobs. We went from 16,000 small and medium-sized manufacturers to 12,400. We need to focus on innovation. And really doesn't, for our region, it really doesn't matter if we're making pharmaceuticals, whether we're making parts for the cars of the future, whether we're working in the aerospace industry, which we actually are in this region, or we begin to work in the actual space industry. We need to find out what those innovations are and start working in that area. At the end of my term, I was working with Saginaw Valley State University and with CMU on innovation, Industry 4.0, and we need to follow through on those kinds of things. Then you begin to put those institutions of higher learning, the colleges, the universities, in together. The work that the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance is already doing in the STEM arena is putting us one step ahead. And then the third leg of the stool is the placemaking. You have to build up your communities. You have to have places where people want to be, because you can attract and then you have to retain. These are the things that all have to happen kind of at the same time.
I have to ask this because Michigan's been losing population for a long time, not just recently. It almost seems to me that the loss in bidding against those battery plants that went to Tennessee triggered something in this state. It was like an awakening almost. Did I misread
no,
that?
It did, because here's the thing is that we were on the cusp it was less than 2 years ago when Ford Motor Company announced that it was taking Blue Oval Park down to Tennessee. Tennessee came up with $400 million and some prepared land for them. $12 billion investment, 11,000 jobs. That's $1 billion payroll. So they took that down there. That could have been done here. We weren't even in the ballpark. We were about, I would say, 30 to 60 days away, if we had done nothing at that time, from entirely losing our auto industry by the year 2035. So we did some legislation. The governor was working with the legislature. We finally came together on the SOAR program and some other things that we're working on. But here's the point: is that it should scare the crap out of everybody that Tennessee doesn't have 11,000 workers, and this is what's been going on for the last.
Where are they going to get them?
The last 40 years, they don't have 11,000 workers. They have to find them. They have to rob other states. Guess where they're coming?
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't get aggressive in trying to grow our population, if we're satisfied with us, with just not losing population, we're going to lose population. They're going to come up here and take our workers. And when we lose a plant to Indiana, in Ohio, we're going to lose population, and we're going to lose our industry completely. So if we don't diversify our economy, if we don't diversify our manufacturing, if we don't, in this region, because every region of Michigan is different, so we have to decide, for our organization, Matt and I, we're gonna study this: healthcare, education, manufacturing, agriculture. We're going to find out what the innovations are in each of these industries, and we are going to celebrate those things, and we're going to invite people from around the world to come here. And then we're gonna grow. And at this point, because I'm working now for this region, I don't care if I rob these people from Wayne County. I don't care if they're coming from Oakland County or from Grand Rapids, from Traverse City. We need to have people in this area. That's the little secret now of, being able to grow this.
Well, and they're going to try and rob from you, so it's a two-way street, isn't it?
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah.
And so we just need to make sure that we're doing all the right things, and we are. And one of the beauty part of this is that these communities that we get to take, that we get to celebrate, the Saginaw, Midland, Bay, Isabella counties, and all of the cities and in towns and the businesses and the schools. All they have to do is what they're already doing. They just have to do it really well. And in Midland can be Midland, and Bay County can be Bay County, Saginaw can be Saginaw County, Isabella can be Isabella. They don't have to do anything different. They don't have to yield. They can celebrate who they are.
But they also have to talk to each other.
Exactly.
Right. We got to take a break, come back, and we'll be back with our guests right after this note. Let me talk to you for a minute about my auto dealer, because after many years, I finally get to talk about McDonald Ford in Freeland on M47. But McDonald Ford also wants you to know they are now buying cars. That's right. You can sell your vehicle by beginning the process via text. Simply send 7 photos of your car to 989-695-5566. Attention, Joe. Now, the photos must be of the front, rear, left, and right sides of your car's interior, dashboard showing vehicle mileage, and a photo of your title showing the VIN number. Receive an offer? You decide. Payment is on the spot and includes all paperwork and lien release. Don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today. Tell your friends and family too. Text your photos to Joe at 989-695-5566. You can also go to mcdonaldford.com to obtain the number. By the way, mention my name, Art Lewis, and they'll throw in a free lunch with the deal. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
We are all anxiously awaiting the approach of spring. Longer, warmer days, trees budding, perennial flowers blooming, and the return of our state bird, the robin. What we're not looking forward to is rain, flooding, thunderstorms, and of course, power outages. Oh no! No one wants to be caught off guard with a sump pump problem during a heavy downpour. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can help you plan ahead to avoid a flooded basement. They sell and install primary electric pumps as well as water and battery-powered backup pumps. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can also bring you back to normal from a wet basement with maintenance or replacement of a flooded water heater, furnace, or boiler. Trust the experts with your plumbing and heating mechanical needs in your home. You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, 989-792-8738, or find them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you talking about Felan and Ken Horn, the president and vice president of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance. If you have any questions or comments about how to create jobs and all of those things that the Alliance does, you can give us a call at 989-752-6111. So as we look at one of the big thrusts of the Alliance since you took over, Matt, has been STEM. Huge push on STEM education. Can we see results? I mean, if you go to the colleges and universities and even the high schools, do we see more youngsters engaging in science, technology, engineering, math?
Yeah, it's I will tell you, Art, it has exploded over the course of the last decade. Some of the things we've seen, if you think to before we started our work in regional STEM, simple things where I really look is kids are going to have to study what they study during the day. But what do they do with their interests once the school day ends? And if you really look at where programming is, we call it out of school or after school STEM learning, it has exploded. We're talking first robotics programs, Lego League programs, engineering for kids, computer coding. I mean, it is just erupted to where we're so proud. I don't know if the listeners really understand, but when it comes to first robotics as an example,
wow,
this is one of the premier regions in the world for the program. And why this is so important is because children are now studying more engineering. They're studying more mathematics. They're really have an interest that is increasing our numbers in those programs in college. Here's the tough part, and this is where we still have work to do, is that, you know, if we look at what kids are pursuing in terms of degrees at four-year institutions, we're still graduating more kids with degrees in sports management than we are in engineering and computer science. And there's a whole variety of reasons, just the difficulty of the curriculum, how hard it is. COVID has been a big hiccup. The kids have had some learning loss. So we have so much more work to be done. But what we've seen, the interest level has changed dramatically, and we're seeing a turn. And this is important simply because we're not doing it for an altruistic reason. We need kids with STEM skills for the jobs that are here. If you look at, you know, our friends in Bay Future did amazing work bringing SK Siltron into that facility off of Mackinac and US 10. Well, I got to tell you, they're not going to be hiring a bunch of history majors into SK Siltron to be making these chips. You're going to have the skills in science, technology, engineering, and math.
Which brings up, Ken, to you the next question. You could have a major corporation tomorrow say, hey, we're going to develop a piece of property out here in the Great Lakes Bay region, and we need 400 employees. Where are you going to find them?
We're going to bring them in. You got to migrate them here. You got to migrate people with talent, which helps you fill your 60 by 40, which the governor is interested in, 60% of the people with some kind of a degree or certificate by the year 2040. Without bringing people here, we're never going to be able to fill those jobs no matter what. If a company expanded, you couldn't do that, the same thing. We need to be able to bring people here. Again, using the example of Ford in Tennessee, they're going to take 11,000 people down there. How will they do it? And so we have to take examples from every other state that's around us that's growing, every industrial state. They are doing it. We have to take those examples.
And the reason I ask is we already have companies in this area that are looking, that need workers, skilled workers, STEM workers, and they're having difficulty.
But here we are. I mean, we're just fresh out of changing our entire focus on education. Art. We're really coming to a point where parents are looking at this. We're no longer calling this, a college and career readiness program in our schools. This is career readiness, and we're looking at careers that they include college, they include post-secondary, but they don't necessarily have to be 4-year degrees, right? And so we're looking at from early childhood or cradle to a meaningful career. How do we make this seamless, this educational program? Do you know, Art, in Michigan, we have 630,000 adults over 23 years old that still don't have a high school diploma.
Yeah.
So we have a long ways to go with the population that we have. And in Saginaw Valley State University, as good as they are at retaining students, still loses 13% of their students. So so in essence, with the birth death rate that we have, we export our educated kids. So we have to turn that around one way or another.
Did we make a mistake, Matt, over years and years and years pushing college and not reminding folks that there are skilled jobs that don't require college, but you can make a great living at?
There's no question. We've had this windshield wiper effect where we're like, okay, everybody go get a 4-year degree. No, wait, everyone go to the skilled trades. No, wait, everyone get a 4-year degree. The reality is we have to do everything. We have to be able to supply everything. One of the things that I love about this region, when we talk about how do we grow, I think we're actually extraordinarily well positioned to do this because every year we have 50,000 college students in this region, Art. But I think one of the problems we have is these kids come here from Metro Detroit or Grand Rapids or other Midwest states, and they have the mentality, hey, I'm going to go to CMU for school, or I'm going to go to SVSU, but then I'm going to leave and I'm going to come home, or I'm going to go to Chicago or New York. We have got to do a much better job when we attract these kids to say, hey, you're just not coming here to go to school, but you can come here to go to school and then live here and start your life and start your family. You're going to find it's an amazing place to raise a family.
And a lot of good paying jobs.
A lot of great paying jobs. But your point is well taken. Not everyone has to have a 4-year degree. It may be an associate's degree. It may be a certificate. It may be a training program. And, we're well positioned with some of our community colleges like Delta and Mid. If a company comes in and they need employees, their Fast Start programs are tremendously effective in getting workforce ready. But Ken's right. We just can't do that with the people that are here today. We've got to bring additional people in if we're going to grow jobs.
All right, last break, and we'll be back to close out with our guests. We'll be back after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
School is in session at Spartan Pools. Join us for Pool School at Spartan Pools on May 4th at noon and 6 p.m. or catch our Facebook Live at 3 p.m. Taught by professionals from BioGuard and Spartan Pools. If you're a seasoned pool owner, a new pool owner, or if you're even thinking of owning a pool or spa, then Pool School is for you. Plus, all Spartan Pool graduates receive 15% off BioGuard pool chemicals. BioGuard, guarding more than your pool. Join Spartan Pools May 4th at noon and 6 p.m. Sign up for Pool School at SpartanPools.com today. Don't just like to lawn, love to lawn with the Cub Cadet XT Enduro Series. Head to Wolfiles Ace Hardware, your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer today, and see how the fastest growing lawn tractor is setting the standard for performance and comfort. Cub Cadet is delivering more strength, more versatility, and more durability in one lineup that now features bold new redesigns of the fully electric XT1 and the dealer exclusive XT2. The XT Enduro Series also offers extra tough fabricated and stamped decks, breakthrough cutting and bagging performance, incredibly responsive handling, and an ergonomically designed operator station with an adjustable seat for incredible comfort, all backed by strong warranties and the genuine parts, accessories, and trained service technicians only Wolfiles can provide. For expert advice, superior service, and exceptional offers, visit Wolfiles Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street, Saginaw, where customer service still exists.
It's the sound of a good deal. That's music to your ears.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos,
You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Matt Felan, the head of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and the vice president of the Alliance, Ken Horn. So you want to bring 40,000 people in by 2040? Is that right?
Yes.
Where do you start? When do you start?
Today. I begin. I've already been asking the question.
By the way, we should tell everybody this is your first day on the job.
Yeah,
His
I just started.
His first task is to sit here this morning.
I punched in at 9:00 this morning.
I was happy to see his car pull up. It was still questionable. I was thrilled when he was here. I'm like, oh, he really is going to come work with us.
No, I tell you what, on Friday, Chamber of Commerce had its annual luncheon, and I was already asking, Mayor Brenda Moore, President Grant from SVSU, telling them I want to meet with them in their offices. And my question to them is how will you grow your student population, President Grant, by 10%? That's what 40,000 is in this region. Mayor Moore, how will you grow your city by 10%? Because they know, they have a plan. The question is, what are the obstacles? And then our job is going to be helping remove those obstacles, finding the people that help overcome those barriers. And when we talk to industry leaders, what are the obstacles to finding more employees? I just had somebody text me that they're listening to the show, they're watching on Facebook, and they're looking for employees right now. How will you grow your business by 10%? And when you run into barriers, Dow needs a research and development credit statewide, like the other states around us, and so does next year. So when we see patterns, then we reach out to the chambers who already do advocacy and have them help us.
Let me ask this, Ken, because you bring up that person that texted you who's already looking for employees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing to look ahead and bring in those 40,000 people. What do you tell that employer to do right now to find those people?
Well,
he needs them now.
Well, we have, my last year, I had the budget, $55 million for the Going Pro Talent Fund, $55 million for a Reconnect program. We have training programs for businesses and for people to grow into jobs. But that was part of the point, was we're spending tens of millions of dollars in a training program. And if I'm training somebody to be a machine operator, which we are, then I'm not training them to be a nurse. If I'm training them to be a nurse, I'm not training them to be a teacher. If we're not growing the population, we're just moving pieces on the chessboard. So bringing people in with talent allows us, the opportunity to put people in positions into new positions and grow facilities.
And if I can add, Art, there's one thing that the region is going to have to wrap its mind around, which is we're going to be in a more diverse region. Legal immigration becomes an important part of what we
Yes.
do. The reality is families are not having 4, 6, 8 kids anymore that really gave us that population through the 50s, 60s, 70s. Now, a lot of people, I'm one of them, had 2 kids and was like, that is enough. I'm good, right? When you do that, that kind of limits your growth. So we're going to have to bring talent from outside of this area that wants to come here, that wants to live here, that wants the job. But I want to repeat what I said, because the 2 words together are important: legal immigration. But it creates a mindset that we have to be a region where people have a sense of belonging when they come here from the outside.
Well, you said something very important, because this country is built on legal immigration. Literally. I mean, all of us, our families, you trace them back. They weren't from this country. They came from other countries and built this nation. My family, your family, everybody's family, except those of absolute Native Americans. And the reality is we need to have a system that addresses that, not just open the border and say, come on in, but we have to have some way of attracting the right talent and good people to build up what we need in this country.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's become one of those issues that's a political football that
Has been for decades.
That people try to divide us on. But I think if we could work together to understand, hey, this is the country, this is the absolute foundation of our country. How do we find the right avenue for people to be here, to pay taxes, to be Americans? I think we can all get around that, but we really need, and in this case, our politicians in D.C. to work together and come up with a plan.
That's been kicked down the road generation after generation. Congress after Congress, president after
But
president.
yeah, and for our region, again, we can lead. Here you got Matt and I,
Right.
On different sides of the political spectrum, and I'm looking at too, not just the legal immigration, but here I am, a conservative Republican. What do you do with the refugees that we have here, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, we can work on so many different things.
Guys, I got to interrupt, but let's plan on doing this again in the not too distant future.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
Thanks, Art.
Matt, congratulations on your new hire.
Everyone needs a new guy. I'm looking forward. Maybe he'll even get me a cup of coffee later today. Who knows?
Ken, see you later.
See y'all.
We'll leave with that one. We'll be back to close out.
Hi, I'm Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation. On May 2nd, we're asking you to give local. Give Local Midland is a 24-hour giving day, and Midland Area Community Foundation is matching donations to nonprofit endowment funds that help provide transformation to Midland. Help your friends and neighbors in the nonprofit community maximize their power to fundraise as they compete for prizes and the title of Top Fundraiser. Give Local on May 2nd at givelocalmidland.org.
M&R Garage Door wants to invite everyone who missed them at the Midland Home and Garden Show to stop by their showroom to see what's new with garage doors. They want to remind you that home experts agree that replacing your old garage door with an M&R door can instantly transform the look and curb appeal of your home more than any other exterior improvement. They can professionally install your garage door and opener. M&R has trained staff to stand behind and warranty their work. Call 894-0971. That's 894-0971. M&R Garage Door. Service is their specialty.
When you choose Garber, you become a partner in making better happen in the community. And with Garber's low price guarantee, it'll never cost you a penny more. And that means making better happen at the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Executive Director Nancy Parker, tell us what's in the works right now to make better happen at the Children's Zoo.
Right now, we're doing a project and Garber is supporting it, and it will provide nursing rooms, quiet rooms, and also family restrooms. So Garber has been a part of our organization for a very long time in terms of support, and it's wonderful. We wouldn't have what we have, and we can't be a zoo for all without support from organizations like Garber.
And it's not just the kids having fun at the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Nancy, have you got a way for the grown-ups to have a blast too?
And we do have a fundraiser, Brew at the Zoo. It's June 22nd. It's 6 to 9, beer and wine, and a lot of other fun that happens with adults in the zoo at night.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
All right, our thanks to Matt Felan and Ken Horn for joining us on this edition of the Art Lewis Show, the first hour. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk to Andrea Norton and Mike Jamrog from the Bay Veterans Foundation about their Workshop and Learning Center. That will be coming up right after the news, and we'll talk to you then.
From the premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Fear not, First Republic Bank customers. JP Morgan Chase's Jeremy Barnum says you'll find all of your money exactly where you put it after today's seizure and sale.
First Republic branches and offices will open today and operate normally. First Republic customers can bank as usual and feel confident that their deposits are backed by the strength and security of JP Morgan Chase.
First Republic's collapse is the third mid-sized bank to fail in 2 months. Just in from Washington, the Supreme Court has declined to hear a challenge to an Indiana law that requires abortion remains be buried or cremated. In Cleveland, Texas, a vigil for the 5 people killed, among them a 9-year-old boy, when a neighbor opened fire after he was asked to stop shooting into his yard Friday night. Police say the suspect, 38-year-old Francisco Oropesa, is armed and should be considered very dangerous. Special Agent James Smith.
He is out there and he's a threat to the community, and we need the community's help to hopefully locate him soon and take him off the streets.
There's an $80,000 reward for information. Another twister's torn through the South.
As many as 100 homes were damaged and a state of emergency was declared after a possible tornado moved across Virginia Beach, Virginia, Sunday night. Countless stately old trees were damaged in Stephen Keck's neighborhood.
I just can't believe the damage. When I walked down just 1 block, as I was looking around, there were times where I didn't even recognize where I was.
There were natural gas leaks at numerous homes. No one was killed or seriously hurt in the storm. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
An American warship has rescued more than 100 U.S. citizens from the violence in Sudan and taken them to Saudi Arabia. Correspondent Ramy Inocencio is in Jeddah.
Elaz Khalid is from Queens, New York.
Just seeing like dead bodies on the street, seeing like tanks.
She's flying straight back to the United States. You're taking off now. How do you feel?
I feel relieved, like, alhamdulillah, I'm happy.
A UN refugee official says 73,000 people from Sudan have now made it to neighboring countries. Hollywood's TV and film industry could be shut down by midnight if the Writers Guild doesn't have a new contract it likes by then. Correspondent Elise Preston.
The union wants higher pay for episodes airing on traditional TV and increased guaranteed residuals, especially on streaming platforms like Paramount Plus and Netflix.
The last time writers went on strike in 2007, it lasted for 100 days. One of the main sticking points this time, using AI to write scripts. The Dow is up 76 points. This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 45 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Jonathan Dent. A Midland County man has been sentenced to 3 years probation after trying to strangle his mother during an argument in February. 41-year-old Justin Schneider of Hope Township pleaded guilty to assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder on March 30th and was sentenced Thursday to 75 days in jail with credit for 75 days already served and 3 years probation. Schneider will also be admitted to mental health court. A Bay County gymnastics coach has been reinstated after a month-long suspension. Nancy Moore, head coach at Bay Valley Academy in Bangor Township, was suspended in March by the U.S. Center for Safe Sport after allegations of physical and emotional misconduct from some athletes at the school. Moore's suspension was to last 2 years, barring her from coaching gymnastics anywhere in the U.S. or becoming a member or coach under the Olympic movement. WNEM TV5 reports that those allegations included not following concussion protocol and forcing a gymnast to compete with a broken arm. Moore retained legal counsel, who stated the allegations were completely false, citing what he calls hundreds of pages of documentation and messages, plus dozens of witnesses. No criminal charges were ever filed against Moore. The U.S. Center for Safe Sport has not commented on the allegations due to the ongoing investigation. Starting today, the city of Mount Pleasant will allow the use of scooters and other micromobility devices. The approval means the first rental scooter company, Spin, will begin operating in the city. However, on the campus of Central Michigan University, the scooters come with some restrictions. They're programmed to obey a 10-mile-per-hour speed limit, they must be parked in designated areas, and they cannot be brought into university buildings, including the dorms. WSGW News Time is 10:07.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Crane. There's a reason why Crane's L&M Appliance Center has been serving this area since 1956. It's customer satisfaction. Want knowledgeable support and the best brand at the best possible price? New, scratch and dent, or refurbished? We have them. For a limited time, we have rebates on LG appliances, Hot Point Laundry, Frigidaire, Speed Queen, and GE, and special no-interest financing. See us today in Saginaw, 3260 Bay Road, and in Caro, 1556 West Caro Road. At Crane's L&M Appliance, we want to earn your business.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time is 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. No one was injured when a vehicle crashed into a fallen tree in Genesee County yesterday. Authorities say the large tree fell into the road right in front of a black SUV on Porter Road in Grand Blanc Township around 4 p.m. The driver of the vehicle was uninjured. The tree reportedly took down some power lines in the area, and crews from Consumers Energy responded to clean up the downed lines. Then fire crews were able to remove the tree from the road. A new recreation area is officially open in Saginaw. The 334-acre Saginaw River Headwaters Rec area opened to the public last Friday after 8 years of planning and developing. The area is located across the Saginaw River from Wicks Park. It once housed the Saginaw Malleable Iron Plant. County officials say while there still is a lot of development to take place, the area is ready for hiking and biking, fishing, or wildlife observation. A map and more information can be found on the Saginaw County website. Drivers will be able to cross Bay City's Liberty Bridge for free, at least for a little while longer. Tolling was originally expected to begin in April. That date was pushed back to May earlier this year, but on Friday, Bay City Bridge Partners announced that the timeline has been pushed back even further. The organization says there will be an announcement at least 2 weeks prior to tolling beginning on Liberty. Bay City Bridge Partners also announced the newly expanded customer service center hours on Wednesdays from 8:30 to 6:30 with no closures, as well as a customer service hotline available from 10 to 7 weekdays at 855-648-4330. More information can be found at baycitybridgepartners.com. It's Small Business Week in Michigan. There's been a surge in small businesses over the last 2 years, with more than 10.5 million Americans applying to start a business since January 2021, more than in any other 2-year period in American history. Governor Gretchen Whitmer says Michigan is committed to ensuring that our local communities remain as vibrant tomorrow as they are today by supporting small businesses. WSGW News Time, 10:10. Now here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Monday has a high of 46 degrees with mainly dry conditions this morning. Rain showers returning during the afternoon with some wintry mix as well. Most of that going to be farther up north. We'll also have some wind gusts up to around 25 miles per hour from the northwest. Into tonight, a low of 36. That northwesterly wind gusting to 35 miles per hour. More of that scattered wintry mix up north. Then on Tuesday, some mix in the morning, turning to just rain showers in the afternoon. Our northwest winds still gusting to 25 miles per hour with a high of 47. Now by Wednesday, we'll have a high of 55, only a few lingering rain showers in the thumb. And as we go through the rest of this week, high temperatures continuing to warm up, 60s by the end of the week. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently, we have 45 degrees here in Saginaw.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show. As you heard, brought to you by Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Expanded showroom, expanded product lines waiting for you at Westside Decorating Center. We have a couple of very special guests with us this morning to talk about an important topic. We're going to talk about the Bay Veterans Foundation and their Learning Center and workshop. A couple of guests to do that. First of all, from the Bay Veterans Foundation, where he is a board member. And we say good morning to Mike Jamrog. Mike, good morning.
Morning, Art. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for being with us this morning. And from the Alita Lutz Veterans Affairs Medical Center, the Community Engagement and Partnership Coordinator. Oh, they got all that on a card, too. Andrea Norton. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being with us today. Mike, I want to start with a little history about the Bay Veterans Foundation and how the workshop and learning center came about.
Well, the jest around the workshop is it's the napkin story. Keith Markstrom and myself were sitting in the Stein House in 2011 and talking about our experiences of being in Vietnam, coming home, and some of the difficulties we had in adjusting to life. And it was, gee, wouldn't it have been nice if we had a place to go to kind of unwind and become accustomed to the community again. When you're in the service, the only thing you can think about is going home and going back to your community and family. And then when you get here, you find the community has changed and your family has changed and you've changed.
I was going to say there's a you in there too.
Yeah. And it becomes very unsettling. And
what branch were you in?
I was in the Army.
You were in the Army? And Andrea, I know we were talking before the show, you're an Air Force brat.
Yeah. Well, a brat, but not an Air Force brat. But my father served in the Navy back in Vietnam, but I served in I served in OEF, OIF time period. So I was in 98 to 2007.
In the Air Force.
In the Air Force.
Thank you both for your service. So it's one thing to come back and say, well, gee, I wish we had something. It's another thing to go build it.
Well, that's where Keith and I were both teetering on retirement, him sooner than myself since he's older. But we incorporated in 2015 with our goal to do the workshop. We were first asked to spearhead the redoing of Battery Park in downtown Bay City, which we did, raised about $190,000 to completely redo it. Shortly after the dedication, we were asked to put up the Gold Star Family Monument, which is also in Battery Park. And that was at the request of Woody Williams, who was the last Medal of Honor winner from Iwo Jima. He just recently passed away and was had honors at the nation's capital. Woody's goal was to have a Gold Star Family Monument in every state of the Union. He was a telegraph delivery boy in 1943, and he said he would never forget the look on the families' faces when he had to deliver the telegram from the Department of Defense. So that was his mission, and we were so very grateful to help him along on that. That was in 2017. 2018, we bought the building, which is at the corner of 4th and Madison, right behind the train depot where the community foundation is. And we ran into, of course, it used to be an old gas station, so we had environmental issues and asbestos. When we got to the point,
small little obstacles.
The construction budget doubled from $450,000 to over $1 million. We were just ready to embark on the fundraising, and that was February of 2020, which COVID hit. All the funding sources were directed toward COVID relief. In May, there was a little bit of movement of back away from something other than COVID. And then we had the Sanford floods. Flood relief. So we lost the entire year of 2020 as far as obtaining any funding to redo our project. We started construction April of 21, and we just received our occupancy permit in January of 23.
Any federal money involved, or is it all local?
Through the efforts of Representative Timmy Beeson and Senator Daley, who was our senator at the time, they did obtain for us through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation some funding. City of Bay City has been very generous and gave us a grant from their ARPA funds, and the county has given us a grant for restricted to programming, but that's allowing us to develop our programs as we go along.
So you've raised enough, obviously, to build the building.
Yes, we have.
What about operational costs?
Well,
that's ongoing.
That's ongoing. We hold 2 fundraisers a year, a pheasant shoot and a golf outing, that provide enough to cover the utilities and insurance. The rest of it is donations, and we're actively looking at ways to develop a ongoing revenue stream through sale of products. Certainly, if anyone would like to be an ongoing benefactor, we'd love to talk to you, and develop that ongoing. That's probably the hardest part.
Let me ask you a question before I get to Andrea here. You came back from Vietnam, and if there's a blemish on this country's treatment of veterans, it was that. How has it changed?
I think there's a greater acceptance of, when I say acceptance of the veteran, and that the veteran is doing a job, one, that not everybody wants to do. I think there's an acceptance from the Vietnam veterans that we did what our government asked us to do. Another board member and I did a presentation to Eastern High School, the alternative high school for Bay City. And it was their history class, and they were studying the Vietnam War for 3 weeks, which is unusual. Usually it's 3 pages. And one gentleman asked, they were very confused about the draft. You mean you had to sign up and you had to go? Yeah. We talked for 20 minutes, and his question was, if you had it to do all over again, knowing what you know now, would you do it? And I guess there was that moment of pregnant silence between the two of us, and said, yeah, because we live in the greatest country in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I'm only a 3rd generation American. My grandfather came in 1880. So I have nothing. This country gave me everything. So if they ask me to do something, I'm going to do it.
Good answer. We'll take a break, come back. We'll talk to Andrea when we return. We're talking to Andrea Norton and Mike Jamrog, and we'll tell you more about the programming that's going on at the new Workshop and Learning Center for the Bay Veterans Foundation. All of that is ahead here on the Art Lewis Show. You know, a 401k can be an important asset for many American retirements. You made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years and even decades. Its tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly to you if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. The little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit them at GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened flat and turned mixed. JP Morgan Chase shares opened up 2.5%. It purchased First Republic Bank overnight after regulators closed First Republic. Branches and offices of First Republic are open today. Chase says it will assume all of First Republic's deposits, even those that are uninsured. Many international markets are closed today for May Day. American Airlines shares are lower after the Allied Pilots Association said its members authorized leaders to call a strike, though negotiations are still progressing. General Motors shares are up 2%. Analysts at Morgan Stanley are advising investors to buy GM. Norwegian Cruise Line's loss was smaller than forecast, but the stock opened lower. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Menards has what you need to grow the perfect lawn. Pro Mix grass seed is fast working and contains added nutrients for a richer and healthier lawn. Right now, grab strong and resilient, greenest and thickest, or thick and quick spot repair grass seeds for $10.99 each after rebate. Good through May 7th, savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Democrats just want to win the next election, and they're trying to do it with ceaseless money printing. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. It is critical to protect your retirement right now with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word safeguard to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all. Text the word safeguard to 989898 to get a free info kit on gold.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
Saginaw is getting ready to celebrate Cinco de Mayo once again. I'm Larry Rodarte, host of Mi Gente on Air on WSGW, and I want to invite you to join in the fun on May 6th. It all starts with the 44th annual parade down Washington Avenue at 10 a.m. Then the festival begins at noon at Jolt Credit Union Event Park with international wrestlers, the Ballet Folklorico of Detroit, 12 amazing local Mexican food trucks, and music from some of the best Tejano artists in the world, featuring Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez. We're celebrating big, and we want to invite the entire Great Lakes Bay region to join in the exciting cultural tradition. Find out more at SaginawUnionCivica.com. All that excitement and more in downtown Saginaw. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
And a program note for you, Mi Gente on Air, which you normally hear Sunday evenings, will also air tonight because of a technical issue last night. We want to make sure you hear the whole program. So Mi Gente on Air tonight from 8 to 9 p.m. on WSGW. Back with you and our special guests in studio. We have with us Mike Jamrog, board member from the Bay Veterans Foundation, and Andrea Norton from the Alita Lutz Veterans Affairs Medical Center, where she's community engagement and partnership coordinator. Andrea, before we get into the involvement of the VA with this project, what got you into the military as a young girl getting out of high school?
Honestly, I didn't really come from a military family. As I said, my father served for a few years in Vietnam, but it wasn't a big part of my upbringing. It kind of was a short-sighted act of teenage rebellion, to be honest. It was just the last thing anyone would have expected me to do. I wanted to travel. I just kind of wanted to see the world outside of Bay City. And so,
obviously you were in for more than one hitch. Yeah. You must have found something when you got in.
I did. To be honest, I think the structure helped me quite a bit. And I was an intelligence analyst, and I was also a mobile instructor the last 4 years I was in. So I was in a total of 8.5. And, just like any 8.5-year chunk of anyone's life, there were good experiences, there were bad experiences, there was everything in between, but it definitely shaped my worldview. And I think there's a lot of things I learned that I still apply to this day.
So when you came home, were you looking for a role with veterans?
Quite the opposite, Art. I really had a struggle during my transition experiences. A lot of veterans do. It was quite overwhelming to leave a world where I knew, who I was. I was told, I was given a title. I was told who I was. I had that identity, and then it was just abruptly taken away. So I kind of had to figure out who Andrea was again, because I didn't know how to be Andrea without being Staff Sergeant Norton. Like that's who I was. So it was a process. I had to really kind of come to terms with the fact that this was no longer my world. And I was in college for the first time at Michigan State. And there were so many decisions I had to make every day. I was older than all the students in my class. I really struggled quite a bit, very isolated. And it honestly was one of my professors who's a mentor to this day, who he was a veteran himself. And I think he saw me kind of isolating a little bit. So he started mentoring me on my writing, but I think it was also to try to connect and kind of offer me some support. And he's what got me to
get your head screwed on.
Yeah. He's what got me to actually seek services. And it was through registering at the VA and actually like meeting another veteran. It was, I think, that connection from someone I trusted, him telling me to do that. I was more apt to believe him than to believe like a brochure I saw, or, it was that human connection. And
what was your degree in?
Social work, actually. I've been a social worker for since 2013, and a variety of roles, but almost all have been within the veteran population. So it's been an honor, really, to be able to still be in service and be in service to other veterans like myself.
So let's talk about that service, and let's talk about the relationship with the Bay Veterans Foundation and the Workshop and Learning Center. What's the role of the Veterans Administration?
Well, I mean, obviously the VA, we want to support veterans wherever they are. Myself, I happen to work at the VA, yes, but like I came into contact with this organization. It was as a veteran because it was really over this image. That's all they had was an image to show me a concept of what this veteran workshop and learning center was going to be. And so it was really based on that and thinking this is the space I needed when I got out. Just a space where I knew it was identified as a building for me because it's in the title, but it was also a space I could just exist. I didn't have any other demands. I mean, I could maybe meet another veteran and have, that connection with them, like what was given to me when I was in college.
It's one set of circumstances to be the user.
Mm-hmm.
It's another to be the giver.
It's one of those places, though, that reaches veterans who maybe don't feel comfortable, setting foot in one of the hospitals or clinics, or, don't maybe identify as a veteran. I mean, you're not going to seek out services where, if you don't identify that way. And a lot of women veterans especially don't always identify as a veteran.
Is that changing? I mean, I can understand that. When Mike came back and what happened with the Vietnam veterans, nobody wanted to put a big Army, Air Force, Navy cross on their head, But today it seems that's different. Are veterans still?
Well, it's not necessarily for those type of reasons that a veteran might not identify that way. Let me ask you a question.
Whoa.
I'll ask a question to all the viewers. I'll ask a question to all the listeners right now. What does a veteran look like?
Everybody.
But aren't you going to look at my buddy to the right of me?
No, I'm going to look at everybody.
But that's not what society thinks.
Well,
Everybody,
that may be.
Because what you see on the TV, what you see in movies, what you hear about is a specific kind of veteran. Yet that population is just as diverse as the world at large. There are every races, there are every genders, there are multiple ethnic backgrounds. There's people from every socioeconomic class. There's so much diversity within the military. Yet when you ask people, what does a veteran look like? They're not going to describe a woman. They're not going to describe any person of color. Typically, it is one image of a veteran, and it is an older white male. And that's a problem if you don't see yourself in that community or that population, or if you're told it's not necessarily for you, you're not going to readily seek those services. So, and it does a disservice to the veterans who really need it. So going to places in the community, educating the community, that's a big part of my role at the VA, is to educate the community about military and veteran culture, about suicide prevention, about ways to support veterans, promoting connectedness. That's a suicide prevention goal. Like, that's a priority area. That is veterans meeting
and we've heard
each
the
other.
Stories.
That's what this,
because of that, and because of the image portrayed in the media sometimes, and all of those things, has that caused the VA now to sit back and say, well, we need an Andrea Norton to do this job? Because it wasn't there before, was it?
Well, no, I think unfortunately, when half of the veterans who die by suicide every day are not connected to veteran services or resources, that's a problem. That means that they're still a part of the community. And so if we can educate the community and help the community be able to guide veterans to resources and benefits, that can save a life, because that's things like healthcare. That's things like different benefits. That there's so many different benefits and resources that are connected to that identity. But if you don't identify as a veteran, you're not going to seek them out. Our state, the Michigan Veteran Affairs Agency, is another really great resource.
Are we doing a better job of providing those services? And I asked that on purpose because over the years, there's been a lot of negative news about the VA, and we don't always hear the positives.
Well, sure. I mean, I think that's in general with the news. I mean, those are the stories that are going to get the most. I mean, I had a great appointment and everything went well. That doesn't really
news, right?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't lead.
And the thing is, it's not one agency that is going to ever be able to provide all the support any person needs, but it's, ever expanding. There are a lot of really great resources out there. Women, I think, they are the fastest growing veteran population. So a lot of the resources and benefits that exist at the VA, a lot of women don't even know about.
All right, we got to take a quick break, come back. When we come back, we're going to find out what's happening at the Workshop and Learning Center from our guests, Andrea Norton and Michael Jamrog. We will be back with more after these notes.
Liven up the look of your home this summer with the help of Warden Interiors of Frankenmuth. Hi, this is Marianne, and nothing brightens up the interior look of your home more than beautiful new flooring. And right now we have all the most popular styles and colors of carpet, as well as wood and tile with beautiful patterns with a very natural look. Warden Interiors also does custom laminate and solid surface countertops, including the Cambria Quartz solid surface and Corian that everyone is talking about. Even new window fashions will give your home a breath of fresh style for summer. We have all the new Hunter Douglas window treatments that help keep the harsh sun rays and heat outside where they belong. Warden Interiors features Duet Architella shades with the best UV protection in the industry. There are so many ways our expert design team can make your home into a showplace. It is a breeze to refresh, rejuvenate, and restyle your home for summer. So come in and visit us. Warden Interiors on North Main Street in Frankenmuth. We'll help you bring it all together.
Hello, this is Carol Thomas, and my next seminars are coming up in Saginaw on Wednesday, May 17th. I will be presenting at the Horizons Conference Center on State Street. I have sessions at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Please call my office to make a reservation. My phone number is 989-793-2300. Please call. My seminars always fill to capacity. I talk about wills and trusts, the importance of them to get assets protected if you ever need nursing home care. It's also extremely important to understand why you need a financial power of attorney. Why do you need a medical power of attorney? I've had so many people come to my office recently that I am not able to help because they do not have their documents set up. I think it's worth your time to come to one seminar, learn what you need to know, and then you can make the decision. But isn't it amazing? By coming to one seminar, you can learn how to protect your life savings. Please call my office. us at 989-793-2300 to make a reservation. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you come to one of my seminars.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the midden.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. And our guest in studio, Mike Jamrog, board member of the Bay Veterans Foundation, Andrea Norton, and she is with the Alita Lutz Veterans Affairs Medical Center as their community engagement and partnership coordinator. So, Mike, take us through the center. What's there now and what programs are being offered?
Right now, we received our occupancy permit from the city, so we can have people come through and work in the workshop. The workshop portion of it is a fully functional woodworking shop. We have planers and joiners and table saws and band saws and just about every instrument that is known to man. We also have a CNC cutter in our tech room, which we're in the final phases of looking at laser engravers. And the next step, I was just talking to an individual last week about 3D printers. So that will all be in the tech room, if you will.
So as a veteran, I come in there and I see this beautiful CNC machine and all of that. I haven't got the vaguest idea how to program that thing. You're going to teach me how to do it?
We've got just the person to teach you. We've got a 20-plus year Air Force veteran machinist that has our exact unit in his home shop, and he uses it to make ukuleles. So Virgil is going to be offering classes in that as well as other uses for the CNC machine. Plus, it's one of our revenue streams we hope to make. We'll be making our memorial plaques for our donor wall, as well as for anybody else that would be interested in.
And what about the carpentry side of things?
Carpentry, it's again basically for making projects end of it. We do have an individual that's a master carpenter as well as he teaches the licensed building classes. So he's actively involved with our high school program.
Yeah, and I ask these questions because, a lot of veterans come home. We heard it from Andrea, and it's kind of like you're walking into a different world and maybe don't have a vision of a future.
Well, that's the whole concept of the workshop is we kind of want to be a preschool. We want to expose the veteran coming into anything and everything he would like. And maybe pardon?
You said he, I said.
And
or
she.
I was waiting for that.
You're right, Andrea.
What was that image, Andrea? Oh, never mind. From the old guys.
We get a lot of people that are lost, and they just don't know. So our idea was to expose them to a whole lot of different things. If you're interested in it, we know where to send you to get further training and certification.
I've got to make a comment here. All my life, I was brought up to respect people that serve this country and give me what I have for a living. I'm happy to see that there is an organization like the Bay Veterans Foundation doing this work. That's the good news. The bad news is, why did it take a Veterans Foundation to do it? Why isn't this country doing it as a matter of course?
I wish I had the answer to that, Art, but it's becoming more and more important in the fact that back up 20 years, and now we're seeing the young veteran. They didn't have the opportunity to go to a industrial arts program at their school. They didn't have the opportunity to experience a lot of that, and they may not have gotten it at home either. So they've missed out on it. So it's not that it's not interested, but they just don't know. They've never been exposed to it.
But we were also taught, the military was a great place to go and get a career. You'd learn a skill, you come out and you'd have a career. Is that model not functioning like we think it should?
I just think the number of people who are serving has dwindled. I mean, there's been a lot of force reduction, and it's just, I think as a culture, there's less connection, I think, people have to the military as far as people who have served and knowing someone. So, and I just think that the nature of how we view maybe the military has changed. It's not, I think it's just
for the better.
Well, I don't know if it's I don't think in those type of binary terms. I think it's just the lack of connection to the military that a lot of people have. So it's not something that they think about. It's not, it's something over there, and so I think it's also through education and exposure, and veterans are a part of the community. And so maybe you do know a veteran and don't even know it.
I mean, and the thing is that, what you say may be true and there's a disconnect. For each and every American, there's a direct connection, because we wouldn't have what we have if it wasn't without you, period. Bottom line.
But some people have never known a world without it. So you take for granted when you don't know any different.
Yeah.
So you can certainly speak to that, but I don't think it's just not something. I mean, I'm one of the last generations that knows what it's like to grow up without technology and have to rapidly adapt to it. That's not my nephew's experience.
You're looking at
that's
one.
not my, but I'm just saying that, I think that's just when you don't know any different.
If you think when I got into radio, all these computers were in front of me, you were wrong.
No, but that's my point. Somebody that
it.
got into the business
I had
now,
to learn it as I went.
They just never knew.
They never knew. They never knew what tapes were. They never knew what that stuff was. So yeah, I got you. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back and we'll have more with our guests.
Hi, I'm Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation. On May 2nd, we're asking you to give local. Give Local Midland is a 24-hour giving day, and Midland Area Community Foundation is matching donations to nonprofit endowment funds that help provide transformation to Midland. Help your friends and neighbors in the nonprofit community maximize their power to fundraise as they compete for prizes and the title of Top Fundraiser. Give Local on May 2nd at givelocalmidland.org.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you a do-it-yourselfer or a direct-it-yourselfer?
Every weekend, people tell us about overspending on projects they could have handled themselves for lots less money.
And we hear from people who ended up overspending because they tried to do something they should have called in a pro to tackle.
Well, we'll help you sort it out. I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Got a remodeling or a repair project?
We can help you decide whether to do it yourself or direct it yourself this weekend on the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
Back with you, my guests in studio, Mike Jamrog, board member from the Bay Veterans Foundation, and from the Alita Lutz Veterans Affairs Medical Center, the Community Engagement and Partnership Coordinator, Andrea Norton, both veterans in their own rights, and we thank them for their service. So, Mike, what kind of hours are you keeping at the Workshop and Learning Center?
Well, right now, we're our primary hours are probably like 8 in the morning till 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're still working with an all-volunteer staff.
It's my next question. You anticipated.
And so it's kind of limited hours. Certainly, if someone shows up and has a project and wants, somebody will work out some conditions where the shop will be open.
Have you found volunteers willing to come forward and volunteer?
We have
Veterans, I should say,
in our own. In our own thinking, we kind of held off until we had a place for them to volunteer at. Keith Markstrom was director of the Bay Medical Foundation for 20 some years. So he well knew that if you gin up the base and you don't have something for the base to do, you lose them faster than ever. So we've kind of really tried to keep them along and keep them busy with some things, but volunteers are very prevalent. People are always telling us, they'll be glad to do some work for us. What do you want us to do?
Andrea?
Well, and I also think that is a way for veterans to give back too, to get a sense of purpose again.
I'm glad you put it that way, because to me, I don't expect veterans to give back. They gave already.
No, it's giving back their leadership, their skills, their passion. It's giving their knowledge.
It's that secondary role.
Absolutely. So I really think those are the things that really help ground a veteran. And I think that can also be suicide prevention.
Yeah. So, Mike, what's next for the foundation and the center?
Well, we're currently, while the workshop is open, and we're in the final phases of offering wood turning classes. We have an individual that wants to instruct on how to put aprons together, shop aprons, or other things from repurposed denim.
Well, a basic sewing class, and I'm sorry, but that is one of the skills that is a post-apocalyptic skill. No, learning how to sew.
At somebody who knows that my wife passed away in January, and I have a shirt with a missing button that I have to figure out how to put on that shirt.
But honestly, it is a really helpful skill set.
It is. I wish I had it.
and so having classes like that where you're learning real skills is the goal, and also having opportunities for veterans to just come together. There's a standard coffee hour that Matthew Clark with the Walking with Warriors program puts on the fourth Thursday of the month, and it's just literally a coffee and donuts hour. And there might be some folks in there with some different information if they want to hand out, but it's not like a come to a presentation on such as. It's a really just informal way for people to maybe get exposure to the workshop, to walk through it and see it. So maybe it's less intimidating, and to meet other veterans and make a friend. I mean,
so Mike, if there's a veteran out there that maybe hasn't come in contact with the Veterans Foundation or the workshop yet, how do they find out more information?
Certainly our website, bayveterans.org. There's
and the Facebook page too.
There's places to volunteer. Send us your email address. We'll get back to you. Set up a time where it's convenient for you to come down and take a look at the facility. And our next one is finishing the other detached building. It's going to be our metal shop. We're going to be offering welding, some pipe.
Good career stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And again, it's exposure. There won't be any certification, but we'll certainly expose you to a whole lot.
Put you on the path, though.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
And also there will be a grand opening open house next week on the 11th of May.
And where's the center located?
4th and Madison.
4th and Madison in Bay City.
Between the county building and the sheriff's office.
Mike, thank you much for your service, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Art, very much.
Andrea, thank you for your service, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks a bunch, Art.
We'll do it again.
Yes.
We'll be back to close out after these notes.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
Welcome to the Helena Field Link Minute. Today, agri-intelligence specialist Aaron Siebenek highlights how extractor tissue sampling allows farmers to go to the field with a targeted approach to nutrient management.
So Extractor is really unique, and it takes tissue sampling really to that next level. So we're able to take their tissue samples and we georeference them much like we would with a soil test, and run it through our AI 360 platform. And when we do that, it gives us the ability to go back and look at that spot of the field multiple times throughout the season. But it also gives us that ability to graph that tissue sample and kind of give us a chart of what's happening and show us where the deficiencies are, versus just looking at the standard numbers with percentages and we're trying to make our own assumptions. The Extractor program also gives us a good set of recommendations where we are deficient, so we can work with our Helena rep to really place the right products on the right acre for what that crop's telling us it needs.
For more tips from Helena, subscribe to Helena's Field Link podcast wherever you listen.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw. You are going to get half off of a 1-hour session of axe throwing for a group of 4. It's $40. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Art Lewis Show. Be back tomorrow with lots more on Focus. We're going to talk about Saginaw Hospitality House and their Kentucky Derby fundraiser coming up. That'll be next, right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. It's the second biggest bank failure in U.S. history and the third in 2 months. First Republic Bank's deposits and most of its assets are being taken on by J.P. Morgan Chase. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says First Republic floundered in the wake of the earlier failures.
From a consumer point of view, this takeover is actually how bank takeovers usually do work. The FDIC recognizes a problem, takes it over, sells the assets, sells the deposits, and branches all reopen. So, I mean, if you've got an account at First Republic, 84 of their branches, all of them are open today, you would have full access to your deposits.
Now to Texas, CBS's Janet Shamlian reports there's an $80,000 reward leading to the arrest of a man accused of shooting and killing 5 in his neighborhood north of Houston last week.
The suspect's phone and clothing were found in a nearby wooded area, but they believe he is long gone from this area. They do think that the suspect has contacted friends for help and are hoping that large reward will encourage someone to phone in a tip.
They're cleaning up in parts of Virginia Beach. Police estimate up to 100 homes were damaged by a tornado that rolled through yesterday. Stephen Keck's neighborhood among those hit.
The trees, there's such, beautiful, older, bigger trees, and they were gone. Like I could see over into the next neighborhood perfectly.
The Associated Press reports a federal investigation found 2 hospitals, one in Kansas, one in Missouri, violated the law by not providing an emergency abortion to a woman whose life was in jeopardy with premature labor at 17 weeks. She survived. In New York, there's a new court filing today in a high-profile case.
Former President Donald Trump has requested a mistrial in a civil case in which writer E. Jean Carroll is accusing him of rape and defamation. Lawyers for Mr. Trump argue the judge in the case has ruled in a biased manner against him. Carroll testified last week that Trump raped her in early 1996 in the dressing room of a luxury Midtown Manhattan department store.
At CBS's Jim Krasula, Trump has denied the allegations. Hollywood TV and film writers are hours away from a possible strike as last-ditch contract talks go on. Gene Mattis of Variety says a work stoppage could come as soon as tomorrow if there's no deal.
Things that are written the same day they are broadcast are the things that would be hit first. So, the late night shows obviously is sort of the first thing that would go off the air. Saturday Night Live, that kind of thing, those writers would be on strike. Depending on how long it goes, it would then have an impact on stuff that has a longer lead time.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 124 points, the S&P up 12. This is CBS News.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 42 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Bircha. A 41-year-old from Hope Township will go through mental health court after pleading guilty to trying to strangle his mother. Justin Schneider admitted to putting his hands on his mother's neck after an argument February 11th. He was sentenced in Midland County Circuit Court Thursday on one count of intent to do great bodily harm less than murder. In addition to being admitted to mental health court, Schneider was sentenced to 75 days in jail with credit for 75 days served and 3 years probation. Saginaw area residents can help decide the winner of this year's Saginaw Soup Pitch Competition on Thursday. Saginaw Soup is a collaboration between several local small business development groups to help entrepreneurs build the skills and connections they need to get started. The program ends with a pitch competition before a panel of judges. The first place winner will receive a $2,000 prize, second place gets $500, and third place will receive a free weekend booth at the SVRC Marketplace. The audience selected People's Choice winner will be given the total of entry fees to the event. The pitch competition will be held at the SVRC Marketplace at 6 p.m. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources has rejected a proposal by the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs to lease 162,000 acres of state forests surrounding Camp Grayling. The proposed 20-year lease would have allowed for the National Guard training camp to conduct low-impact exercises on the land, but concerns were raised over protecting water and maintaining public access to the land during an 8-month-long public comment period. The DNR says feedback from the public and tribal governments, plus local and regional governments, including Bay and Midland counties, as well as internal reviews of the proposal, led them to decline the agreement. The department says the DMVA will still be able to apply for a limited land use permits for exercises on 52,000 acres of the forest, but that the area would remain open to the public at all times. More information can be found at michigan.gov/DNR. WSGW News Time 11:07.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Crane. There's a reason why Crane's L&M Appliance Center has been serving this area since 1956. It's customer satisfaction. Want knowledgeable support and the best brand at the best possible price? New, scratch and dent, or refurbished? We have them. For a limited time, we have rebates on LG appliances, Hot Point Laundry, Frigidaire, Ski Queen, and GE, and special no-interest financing. See us today in Saginaw, 3260 Bay Road, and in Carroll, 1556 West Carroll Road. At Crane's L&M Appliance, we want to earn your business.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but
You have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. As if several counties in the UP haven't had enough to deal with because of flooding, now some of those counties are bracing for a snowstorm. There's a winter storm warning for Ontonagon, Gogebic, Houghton, Keweenaw, Barriga, Marquette, and Alger counties till tomorrow morning. There are also winter weather advisories for Delta and Dickinson counties with 12 to 24 inches of snow expected along the higher terrain. It may be wet and gloomy or possibly snowy in other areas of Michigan, but that doesn't mean summer isn't on its way. The popular tourist destination for Michiganders, Mackinac Island, had their unofficial opening day on Friday. They're now ready for visitors to pile in for some summer fun. Executive Director of Mackinac Island Convention and Visitors Bureau, Tim High, says everything should be open soon.
This weekend, Mission Point Resort and Grand Hotel open, and those are two of our bigger resorts. And over the next 10 days or so, most of the rest of the island will start to open up, including Mackinac Island State Park and the restaurants and fudge stores up and down Main Street.
On Friday, USA Today, with Reader's Choice, named Mackinac Island the best summer travel destination in the United States. It's a warning from Detroit police as the weather warms up. Officials say if you ride an illegal ATV in the city, you should be prepared to say goodbye to it. Police are offering cash rewards of up to $250 for tips that lead to the confiscation of ATVs. The crackdown is a part of the city's warm weather crime strategy, which includes closing some streets, instituting curfews, and enforcing noise and open alcohol ordinances. WSGW News Time, 11:10. Now here's WNEM's First Alert meteorologist, Matthew Mondro.
Monday has a high of 46 degrees with mainly dry conditions this morning. Rain showers returning during the afternoon with some wintry mix as well. Most of that going to be farther up north. We'll also have some wind gusts up to around 25 miles per hour from the northwest. Into tonight, a low of 36. That northwesterly wind gusting to 35 miles per hour. More of that scattered wintry mix up north. Then on Tuesday, some mix in the morning, turning to just rain showers in the afternoon. Our northwest winds still gusting to 25 miles per hour with a high of 47. Now by Wednesday, we'll have a high of 55, only a few lingering rain showers in the thumb. And as we go through the rest of this week, high temperatures continuing to warm up, 60s by the end of the week. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
And currently in Saginaw, we have 45 degrees.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus, brought to you by RoofMax. You can find out more about the safe, affordable, and easy alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement at roofmax.com. You can give them a call, or you can call Ben, actually, at 989-859-6751. Or you can go online to roofmax.com. GetRoofMax.com. GetRoofMax.com. RoofMax with 2 X's. Today, we are going to learn about the Hospitality House of Saginaw and a big fundraiser event they have coming up. We're going to do that with its executive director, and we say good morning to Jamie King. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you here. Before we get into the event coming up this week, talk a little bit about Hospitality House of Saginaw, what it is and what it does.
Yeah, we've been around for almost 40 years. We have 2 houses, one on the campus of St. Mary's, one on the campus of Covenant, and we offer affordable lodging for patients and families who have a loved one at one of the 6 hospitals here in Saginaw, being Covenant, St. Mary's, Mary Free Bed, the VA, Health Source, and Select Specialty.
It doesn't matter what hospital your family member or friend is in.
No.
If you need lodging while they're here.
Correct.
These two houses
Yep.
are there to serve.
That's correct.
And they provide what? What do you provide in that housing?
So we have the house in Covenant.
McNally House.
The McNally House, yes, has been around for about 10 years. That one has basically hotel style. Everybody has their own bedroom and bathroom. And the bedrooms either have one or two beds in them. And we can hold up to 3 people per room. And everybody has their own bathroom, shower, private space. And then we also have a full kitchen with 2 of everything, 2 fridges, 2 stoves, 2 microwaves.
Common living area.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep. A living room, a dining room, and then just a huge kitchen. We do cook dinner almost every night. And then you're welcome to bring in your own food as well if you want to.
When you say we cook dinner every night, you provide dinner?
We do provide dinner every night. We do it with the help of Hidden Harvest. We get donations through them, or groups are welcome to come in and cook a dinner at our house, bring a dinner in from somewhere else, or order a pizza and pay for it to come in. We have a few pizza restaurants in town that provide a pizza once a month for us. So, or we just make spaghetti or something easy, but there's a meal almost every single night.
Is that true for both houses, or are they different in their
No,
form?
so Emerson was closed during COVID for 2 years, and then that's the house that's on St. Mary's campus. We just opened that one back up last summer, and that one's a little bit different. That house is about 100 years old. It has 7 bedrooms, 6 upstairs, 1 downstairs, and then 2.5 bathrooms. And that one is not staffed. So if people did want to come over to the McNally House for dinner, they're welcome to join us over there, or they can do their own thing over at St. Mary's. But it's super convenient because it's right behind the hospital. So on a nice day, you can walk around to the front door, or security will drive you from the house to the front door of the hospital also.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's been going on a long time, hasn't it? 40 years?
Yeah. The Hospitality House of Saginaw was started. Next year will be our 40th anniversary with huge help from the Junior League of Saginaw back then. And yeah, it just keeps growing.
So one of the things you need to grow is money.
Absolutely.
And funny thing about that, this week there's a fundraiser. So tell us
Yes.
about this and how it came about.
It is our 8th annual Kentucky Derby party. I've been with the Hospitality House for about a year, so I definitely wasn't around when it started 8 years ago. But it's our annual fundraiser of the year to raise funds to allow people to stay at the house if they can afford it. The rooms are $40 a night to stay with us, which is a reasonable rate if you're staying
Compared to a hotel room, yeah.
Yeah. If you're staying a couple nights, then no problem. But a lot of our NICU families, for example, they'll stay if you have a baby in the NICU, you're probably with us for about 2 months at a time.
Wow.
So 2 months at $40 a night is $2,400.
Yeah.
So on top of the other bills that you're getting for having a baby in the hospital for 2 months. So we do fundraisers like this to help people like that need to be close to their loved one, but can't necessarily afford the rate. Or there's some people who can't afford $40 a night for one night. So we work with them and see what we can do.
And the NICU, I mean, Covenant's NICU is famous.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets a lot of people.
Yeah. We get people from 3-4 hours north of us staying. So it's definitely needed. If they weren't staying with us, they would be paying 3-4 times as much at a hotel.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to talk about this fundraiser coming up because it's special.
All right.
And we will do that with Jamie King when we return.
Don't wait until spring to make your money grow. Right now, you can spring into an 18-month certificate account that will make you 5% APY. Yes, 5% APY. Let your money grow at 5% for 18 months with Capocco Community Credit Union. Start investing it today, and Capocco will help your money grow faster with the best financial support. Short-term certificate accounts available for a limited time. Visit capocco.org for more information or talk to a member service representative today. APY is annual percentage yield. Some restrictions apply. Federally insured by the NCUA.
I'd rather ride a bike with my kids
Faster!
than ride in an ambulance.
I'd rather have a catch with my dog Curtis than catch pneumococcal pneumonia. If you're 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like heart disease, asthma, or diabetes, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20 pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Learn more at Prevnar20.com. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Saginaw is getting ready to celebrate Cinco de Mayo once again. I'm Larry Rodarte, host of Mi Gente on Air on WSGW, and I want to invite you to join in the fun on May 6th. It all starts with the 44th annual parade down Washington Avenue at 10 a.m. Then the festival begins at noon at Jolt Credit Union Event Park with international wrestlers, the Ballet Folklorico of Detroit, 12 amazing local Mexican food trucks, and music from some of the best Tejano artists in the world, featuring Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez. We're celebrating big, and we want to invite the entire Great Lakes Bay region to join in the exciting cultural tradition. Find out more at SaginawUnionCivica.com. All that excitement and more in downtown Saginaw. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
And just as a reminder, the Mi Gente on Air tonight.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
As I was saying, Mi Gente on Air. We're going to repeat it tonight because there was a technical problem last night. You will hear this special tonight from 8 to 9 p.m. on WSGW, Mi Gente on Air. We're talking to Jamie King, Executive Director, Hospitality House of Saginaw, and I keep teasing this big fundraising event coming up this week. So let's talk about it. What is it?
It is the 8th annual Kentucky Derby Party. So the big Kentucky Derby is coming up this Saturday, obviously in Kentucky. So we have our own right here in Saginaw coming up this Thursday night at Horizons Conference Center.
So what happens at this party?
Yeah, so the event starts at 5:30, and we have a couple different we have silent auctions, we have a few different raffles, and then this year we're bringing in 2 different horse races. So we'll have horses for everybody to bet on, and then we will show a horse race up on TV, and everybody can cheer and get excited for their horse, and then one person will win, and then we'll do it again later.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what's the mode of dress, shall we say?
Oh, yes. The best part of the night. We ask everyone to arrive in their most dapper derby attire. That means seersucker suits, bow ties, and over-the-top derby hats.
Do they?
Some people do. I'm hoping more people will get in the theme this year, but yes, we get some pretty crazy hats and fun dresses, and I'm hoping to see some fun ties, get the guys more involved.
So this is a fundraiser, so obviously there's a ticket cost. So
Yes.
what does it cost to get in, and how do they get tickets?
Tickets are $75 a piece, and
what does that include?
that includes dinner and an
Oh,
open bar. We also have a mint julep station, because you can't
course.
have a Kentucky Derby party without a mint julep. That is sponsored by our very own Michigan Sugar. And so the whole night is included in that $75. And then to purchase tickets, you can go to our event website. It is a little long, but I will say it. It is secure.qgive.com/event/HHH Derby 2023/register. But you can also, we have a Facebook page, and you can go on our Facebook page and check out the Facebook event on there. And then You can click on
And
the
I
link
assume
from
if
there
they go to
also.
Hospitality House of Saginaw's website,
Yes.
they can find the information,
Yeah.
right? So, gee, it's too bad you don't have any free tickets to give away.
I do have 2 free tickets. Thanks for asking.
But somebody's won them already.
They don't know it yet.
They don't know it yet. They're
So
about to.
we did a Facebook contest last week. Well, for the whole week. It was sponsored by Family First Credit Union for share the post, like the post, and you have the opportunity to win 2 free tickets to Thursday's event. I put all the names in a little wheel of names generator, just spun the wheel, and Tyler A is our winner. So Tyler, I'll reach out to you in this afternoon and get you those tickets.
Congratulations, Tyler. That'll be a fun event.
Yes, it will. I went last year and yeah, it was a ton of fun, and we're just adding more fun to it this year.
So, do you have other events? I mean, you can't live all year on one event, can you? Or do you?
That's our only event of the year. We are solely run on donations though. So we have what's called a hospitality hero. Like I said, it's $40 a night to stay at the house. So to be a hospitality hero, you can donate $40 a month, just like as an automatic donation to us, and you would be a hospitality hero for us, just to help one person a month stay with us.
Something you can find on the website?
Yep, that is on our website.
And what is the website?
The website is hhhofsaginaw.org.
hhhofsaginaw.org. 24 hours a day?
24 hours a day. We are at the McNally house. We are staffed 24/7. So there's someone always there. The house is locked. So the only way to get into it is to have one of us let you in.
And the house, for those of you who don't know, is on Michigan, not far from the campus. It's practically right there.
We are right on
right
Covenant's
there.
campus.
And the McNally name is on it because they were one of the primary donors, weren't they?
They were.
McNally
Yep.
family.
Mr. McNally was a primary donor back when the McNally house was built. And they are our presenting sponsor at this year's Kentucky Derby Party.
Ah, very nice. Very
Yes.
nice. So to get into the Emerson house at 2:00 in the morning, what do you do?
So you just come over to the McNally house. We have information on the door if anybody walks up to it, or a lot of times it's referrals from the hospital staff. Come over to McNally. We'll give you a key to get into the house, get into your room, and then you can go over there and spend the night. And then when you're done, we just have a drop box to drop your key in so that you don't have to come back to our house.
So basically, the administrative side of all this happens at the McNally house.
Correct. Yep. If you want to come see me, I'm over at the McNally house.
Is that your offices
Yep.
over there too? All right.
If
Very
anyone ever
good.
wanted a tour, stop in. We would love to give you a tour and teach you a little more about what we do.
And do you need a hospital referral to stay?
You don't, but you do need to either be a patient or have a patient in the hospital. But
So
we
you have
don't.
to have that relationship.
Yep. But you don't need the hospital to refer you.
All right, Jamie, listen, thanks for being with us today. And
Yeah.
we'll learn more about Hospitality House down the road again.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. And Tyler A, she'll be in touch. We'll be back to close out after these notes.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves